right. Hey, we're talking term. You know we love to do it on the show. We once talked terms, and now we're talking term. It's week 3 of our Terminator coverage, and frankly, thankfully, week 3 of 3. I am your host. I'd argue with the most, Daniel Ehrenberg. And this is the franchise episode number 171.
And wow, all right. Getting it. You've been on a little bit of a streak here, my friend.
I've been paying more attention to my own podcast.
That's good. That's a good thing. I am the co-host with, I guess, slightly most less. Your hostess with the most less.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something. I couldn't do it, obviously. It's the morning, folks. That's right. We're doing morning show.
Henry woke me up.
I did. I had set my alarm. I'm tired. Dan was up, and then just got a little 40 more winks in there, and I was wondering what was happening. So I gave him a ring.
40 winks. That's one fewer than the amount of times Amadou Diallo was shot.
I didn't know they called bullet shots winks.
I like to bring up Amadou Diallo when possible.
Whenever you can.
Yeah.
40. He did get too many winks.
Yep. American skin, baby.
And now, like Chevy Chase said in Fletch, he is extremely sleepy. Okay.
All right. Salve. We're doing Salve and Jen this week. Terminators. And it's the War of the Machines. God, the War of the Machines is like the Attack of the Clones in Star Wars. It really is. Like in the first Star Wars movie, they say like, hey, I heard you fought in the Clone Wars, right? And when the first time you heard that as a kid, you were like, what the fuck is the Clone Wars? I gotta see that shit.
Yes.
And then years later, when you finally did, you're like, oh, this is boring.
Yeah.
And this is what it is, man. Terminator Salvation. This is the War of the Machines that was prophesied in those first 3 Terminator movies. And here it is. And holy shit, is it boring.
Well, the thing is that you're exactly right. That's a good parallel. It's like something you hear about. You're like, oh, I'm curious about that. And then we got 2 movies about it, actually seeing it. One would have been all right. I could deal with one. But watching these babies back to back, I mean, wow. It's a lot. It's a lot of war with a lot of machines that by definition are inherently boring and only are salvaged occasionally by performances that...
What performances?
Let me finish. That are mostly equally boring.
These movies are loaded with bad performances. No one's doing it their natural accent. It's driving me nuts. Yeah, I spent half of both of these movies trying to figure out whether people were attempting an accent.
I agree.
I literally Googled at one point Sam Worthington's natural accent just so I could get a baseline.
Yeah, it's helpful to have a barometer from where they're coming from. I do prefer one movie over the other.
Can you let's start now by saying which one. I'd love to know which one you prefer.
Yeah, I mean it ain't high praise. I'm just saying I preferred Salvation.
You preferred Salvation? I got to tell you, Henry. I'm not saying this is a strong opinion because I hated both of these.
Okay.
But I absolutely prefer Genisys, surprisingly.
That is interesting to me because I had very strong feelings on that one. And Salvation kind of just stayed where it had been with me, which was just sort of in the middling range, but watchable.
Okay, well, I'm watching these for the first time, both of them.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay.
So I had no pre-existing opinions or conditions. Yeah.
Yeah, I had seen Salvation about, I don't know, I think I saw it when I living in New York. So it was a long time ago. I saw the whole thing. Genesis, as I told you about a few years ago, I got to the point where Arnold arrives to repeat his shenanigans in 1984 with the punks, and I turned it off. So,
It's Back to the Future Part 2.
oh boy,
It's
yes,
amazing how Back to the Future Part 2. I've never seen a movie ape Back to the Future Part 2. That's such a unique film.
yeah, yeah. But I Genesis to me was well, we'll get there. We'll get there.
All right,
But
why don't we start with Salve?
well, we got some lists too.
Well, let me. Oh, yeah, we can start with the Christian Bale list. You want to do that?
It's up to you. Stats and then list. List and
Nah,
then stats.
Bale, listen, we figured we neglected to do. We had so much to talk about during those fucking Batman episodes, but we've got almost nothing to talk about during these Terminator pieces of shit. So,
That's true. We didn't do Bale during the Batman. What
there
did
was
we do?
just too much to do, man. We were covering an animated movie. We had to talk about Christopher Nolan. I mean, those movies are complex.
Yes, this is very true. So we finally got around to one of my favorite actors. I don't know if it's one of Dan's favorite actors. He likes him.
I love Christian Bale, but
Oh.
yeah, he'd probably not make like a top whatever list.
He'd make my top tier. I did.
You know
forget.
what though? He's always like worth checking out. Like
All right.
you know, actually, part of me wanted to say just now that Bale is a guy who never phones it in. He's given his all, no matter the performance. And I gotta tell you, possible exception: Terminator Salvation. Holy shit, he's boring in this.
I kind of agree with you on that. It's a weird thing when you're watching a movie with Christian Bale and Sam Worthington and
Worthington's the lead of this movie.
I know. I was just gonna say he look, for me it came down to this weird thing where I kept while I was watching Genesis, I kept going when I was watching as I like to call him from 3 years ago, Jay Courtney.
I couldn't believe we were covering Jai Courtney again.
I know.
And he
So
keeps ending up in franchises. We're going to have to talk about this fucker again.
Oh, are we? In what?
Listen, James Gunn just announced the cast list for the new Suicide Squad, and Jai
Right.
Courtney's coming back, baby. Captain
Right.
Boomerang.
That's right. That's right. No, but I never thought I'd be watching a movie and I'd be going, Sam Worthington's he's pretty good.
No, I was not thinking that. Sam Worthington
I
is
was.
fucking grossly horrible.
I disagree. I think it was a lot of it though came out more when I watched Genesis and kept wishing I was watching him.
No,
as opposed to
I
Courtney.
actually disagree. I hate Jai Courtney, but I find him to be a slightly more compelling presence on screen than Sam
Interesting.
Worthington. And
Oh.
believe me, there are very few people that could make Jai Courtney seem compelling, but Sam Worthington's one of them. And
Right.
another thing about Jai Courtney, Henry,
Mm.
you know how we talk a lot about dudes on this show with baby heads?
Dude does.
Jai
sometimes.
Courtney's head is enormous.
It's a big head.
How does he
Yeah.
lug that thing around?
That's why he builds up so much muscle mass. Yeah, he does have a baby head, and I gotta say,
No, not a baby head. He's got an Easter Island head.
I also gotta say, not a good-looking guy to me, to my eyes.
I don't know. I never want to comment on that because there's got to be people out there that find that guy good looking, right?
Never want to comment on that.
No, I mean, listen, I learned my lesson.
Ebert.
I remember in 2005 watching Coach Carter with my sister.
Uh-huh.
And, it's Channing Tatum's first movie. And I remember not thinking he was good looking. And at the end of the movie, my sister was like, that guy was fucking hot. And I was like, really? And then, he turned into, a huge star. So my sister was right on.
I'll go out on a limb and say Channing Tatum is a good-looking man and very talented. I'm not worried about saying that, the negative about Courtney, but
How have we not covered any of Channing's many franchises?
oh, we'll get there for sure.
Jump Street, Step Up,
Magic Mike.
Magic Mike. Boom.
Yeah, all right.
Right.
I had said prior to the show I was going to include the two beautiful Christian Bale YouTube rants. I did not put them on my list.
I didn't either, but I did revisit them, and they are glorious.
Yes, and I want to thank you for the remix reminder. I had a great time. I actually listened to it twice.
Great.
And I shared the original with a couple people who had never heard it. And so I feel like I brought a gift out this week. So
you did. There are certain things, like no matter how many times you pass those out into the world, you're providing a service. For me, the Adrian Brody Protect Your Neck from Saturday Night Live and the Sean Penn, Jude Law is one of our finest actors. I feel as though for the rest of my life I must share those with as many people as possible.
Yeah, I agree, and I have to say the Jude Law Sean Penn one was one that I believe was not as widely circulated. I think it's more widely circulated because we made it so.
I think that's true, frankly. Yeah. People reference that to me all the time, and oftentimes I don't remember what they're talking about.
It's like, oh yeah, I'm the guy that pulled that out and
I blew the lid wide open on that 20 years old story. All right, Christian Bale. Let's talk about this fella. He's been around since childhood in the world of Hollywood, and I've ranked his films here, and I have seen 29 Christian Bale films.
Wow, you've beaten me, not by a lot. I've seen 26.
Okay. All right, so I guess I'll get us started here, and then you could come in here. The worst movie Christian Bale's ever been in. Listen, this one ain't his fault. He's a supporting player, but it is Captain Corelli's Mandolin.
I never saw that. Yeah, I remember when it came out, too.
Boy, that's a rough movie to watch. It's kind of worth it. Nick Cage is just like out of his element, and you could feel it on every frame of film.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah. Who's the girl in that?
Like Penelope Cruz.
All right.
Right when she was like first coming to Hollywood, still figuring it out.
Yeah.
All right. 28. Hurts me to put it here on the list, but the nadir of this great filmmaker's career, Terrence Malick's Knight of Cups.
Okay. Yeah. That's real. Okay. That's my second worst.
Yeah. It was hard to get through.
It really, really was. Yeah.
All right. 27 is where you'll find Terminator Salvation on the list.
Okay. Wow.
All right. Come in at 26.
26, the worst Christian Bale movie I've ever seen, and I only rented it because my girlfriend at the time and me were having an argument in a Blockbuster Video in the Bronx. And
wow, what a difference.
Exactly. And she refused to listen to anything I wanted to rent. So this genius behind the counter was like, you guys want to see an awesome movie? You got to see Equilibrium. It's amazing, man. It's so good. And I was like, no, I don't want to rent it. I have no interest. No, thank you. And she made us, and she
sided with the Blockbuster Video guy?
Yep.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Should have known that was coming to an end.
I really should have. That was a few girls ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Real pleasant times sometimes. So, yeah, she sided
then
with
you had more clues than just that one.
Yeah, that's for sure. And that movie is awful. Equilibrium.
All right. Yeah, I don't know it. That's one of his British movies, right?
It's fucking terrible. I don't even know, man. It's like a Matrix-y fucking ripoff. It is.
There are a lot of movies. I think I get that mixed up with around the same time there was Enigma.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
terrible.
Number 26 for me was Henry recommendation, which I hated, and that is Hostiles.
Wow. That low.
Yes.
I think I know where this is going because some of mine that are really low are going to be really high on yours, and I feel like at a certain point we're going to have some
I don't
very
know
similar
if that's
lists.
true, Henry. I feel like we're going to have a more similar list than you think.
All right, Hostels. Wow, and that's below something else I thought you were going to say, which is really saying something. Okay, number 25 for me, in the same placement on Dan's list. The second worst Christian Bale movie is Knight of Cups.
Yeah, my number 25 is a movie I feel like I watched in school 100 times. Like, not because it's an educational movie, just because it's like PG and everyone liked it in my age bracket. It's like one of those movies that, like, hey, it's the end of the year, it's the last 2 weeks of class, I don't feel like fucking teaching, we're going to put this on. And so my number 25 is Newsies.
Oh God. I was fortunate enough when that came out to avoid it. I was a teenager when it came out, but I never saw Newsies. So for me,
You're doing
and I never
yourself a
will.
favor. It's like 2 hours and 20 minutes. The songs are terrible.
Yeah.
Who cares? The
They're-
sets look fucking cardboard. It's ridiculous.
There's nothing about that movie that would ever entice me to watch it.
I like
So.
the idea of a movie about little schoolboys. I wish it was just like a bunch of dudes in caps, like walking around like, extra, read all about it.
Yeah, no appeal. No
Yeah.
appeal.
All right. Number 24 or 4 for you? Go ahead.
24. I remember renting this pre-Netflix days. Think I got it from the library.
I thought you were going to say pre 9/11.
No. Think I rented it just like I said, pre-Netflix days. Had a great director, a couple of great actors. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad, and I don't think Dan saw it. That is Ridley Scott's Exodus, Gods and Kings.
Oh my God, he's in that?
Yeah, he plays Moses.
Ridley Scott. God, doing Bale no favors for that one.
No.
He played Moses? I mean, what are we talking about? Does he parts the Red Sea in that movie?
I believe he does, but we also got Joel Edgerton, as I recall, in like a shaven bald head playing an Egyptian. I think he plays Ramses or some shit. It's a mess.
Is he playing someone who may or may not be mentally challenged, like every other movie Joel Edgerton's in?
It could be.
Okay. My number 24 is another bad movie that Henry recommended me, and that is Out of the Furnace.
All right, we got those out of the way. So I'd like to think from here on out, the Henry Rex of Bale Rex are in the clear. I don't. Those are my two biggies, and are way up on my list. So yeah.
Not a fan of Scott Cooper.
No, you're not, and I'm a wary fan of his. Oh, that's right. Those are both directed by him. Yeah, two of the best movies of the last. Okay.
Boring.
Boring. What a fucking review that is. Just
But
boring.
it's like, listen.
They're not your thing. They are not a Dan movie.
They
are
need to
Henry movies.
compel. All right? Out of the Furnace wasn't boring. Out of the Furnace is 2 slots higher than Hostiles because it's a slightly better movie. It's got some good supporting performances to carry it through. Is Willem Dafoe in that?
Yeah, and Casey Affleck.
See, that's memorable. Hostiles. It was like I felt like I was watching that movie for my whole life. Like it took up an entire day.
I wish I would have been watching my whole life.
Oh, God.
It's beautiful. Beautiful. Well, I welled up at the end.
Ugh. I mean, come on. Wes Studi is not compelling enough to be your second lead.
All right. Now, my next two movies, I will say, are this low simply because of time elapsing and me not remembering if they're that good. So I didn't feel comfortable putting them any higher, and I feel like if I see them again, it ain't going to change. But number 23 is Empire of the Sun. I think it's been about 30 fucking years, and I don't know.
I haven't seen that since I'm a kid either. It's a little higher on mine, but not by much.
Okay.
My 23. All right. You got Pfeiffer, Flockhart, Bell in William Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Okay, I didn't see it. Yeah. Took a hard pass on that.
I don't know.
I read the play.
I was into those 90s Shakespeare adaptations.
Yeah.
So, I saw like all of them.
I saw all the dramas. I didn't see any of those comedies they went on a run with for a while there. Yeah.
Right. That's true. They were into that for a while. Like the classy comedies was a thing in the late 90s. Like Oliver Parker made those two Oscar Wilde adaptations. Remember that?
Yeah. And I like Oscar Wilde too, but I don't think I saw any of those. Yeah.
I saw him. An Ideal Husband and the Importance of Being Earnest.
I saw a Husband, yeah. All right, 22.
Can I just say, I love Oscar Wilde, but if I have one criticism of Oscar Wilde, every one of his fucking plays ends with someone pointedly stating the title. And you are truly meant to be an ideal husband. And I truly finally know the importance of being earnest.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Wilde is one of those guys who I got into as a teenager. I read quite a lot of his things. He was always a playwright to me, and there are a few on my list like this who read better than he watches. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because it's clever.
Yeah, Harold Pinter's like that with me too. I prefer to read him than to watch what's going on. But yeah, Oscar Wilde. I had another thought. It's fine. Doesn't matter.
Oscar Wilde. It's fine. Doesn't matter. One of the great analyses of his work.
One of the greatest playwrights of all time, and I have nothing to say. Fascinating gent. 22. I think I saw this movie because I was obsessed with Nicole Kidman. I don't remember it being particularly good. That is The Portrait of a Lady.
All right. Yeah, I never saw that. My 22 is another boring movie. I'll say Bale ends up in movies sometimes that are just boring.
Okay.
And, I get why he did this one at least. He wanted to work with the great Michael Mann. And so it's here we have Public Enemies.
Disagree on that one. After several rewatches, have you seen it just once?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw it once. Rewatch that.
Well, I love Michael Mann a lot, and I had only seen it the one time, left virtually no impression. For some reason, I rewatched it, and now I really, really like it. But anyway, all right, number 21, and this will be the last movie that is going to be kind of a dud. For the rest of these, I got something good to say about all of them, and that is number 21, Terminator Salvation.
Okay, yeah. My number 21 is another of the big post-apocalyptic action movies that he has lent his face to, and that is his dragon movie, Reign of Fire.
Oh, that's a fun movie. Come on.
Yeah, it's definitely better than Public Enemies and Hostiles Out of the Furnace, but I can't put it any higher than that.
Okay. All right. It's higher on mine. Yeah, our lists are not going to be at all. Yeah, number 20. I never saw it since the theater, but I had a good time, and mainly because I thought Christian Bale was fucking great in it, and that is Shaft.
No, Shaft is a fun movie. I mean, talking about the Sam Jackson one from there's so many, but there's 3 movies just called Shaft now. It's impossible to talk about these things.
I know. I think it's from 2000.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, Bell and Jeffrey Wright were both really great in that movie.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Right. My number 20 that's where I put Empire of the Sun.
That's fair. All right, from here on out, these are good movies. I got to say, 19 of these things. It's just a matter of my affection for them and them not being so great. 19, a very overrated movie, Oscar nominated. Dan liked it a lot more than I did, but it's 19, folks. That is American Hustle.
Oh yeah, I have that a lot higher. Okay. My number 19 is one of his latest performances. He won an Oscar and a Golden Globe for it, and I found it pretty exhausting. In terms of analyses of modern conservative figures, I prefer the loudest voice, the Russell Crowe, Roger Ailes thing. The other British actor gaining 1,000 pounds to play one of these American pieces of shit. My number 19 is Vice.
May I just point out, just for those two actors?
I also said British and Russell Crowe is Australian, sorry.
And Christian Bale is Welsh. All right,
oh, so I didn't realize that.
Yes, and I'm partly Welsh, so I don't. Fuck that. We're not English. Okay, sorry to our Brit. They know that.
I get it. Steer clear of that Brexit situation, man.
Not interested, right?
You don't want to be affiliated with both Trump and Boris Johnson.
No, I really don't. Please, one tyrant is enough. All right,
Bojo. Okay, what's
Bojo? I haven't heard that. That's good.
What's number 18?
Number 18, another one that I believe was Oscar nominated. I thought it was fine, but holy shit. I mean, I felt about this movie exactly the way you felt about Vice, and that is The Big Short.
Oh, well, Adam McKay, man, and that's his new style, and I'm not super into it, I gotta say. I preferred The Big Short to Vice, maybe because I knew less about what was going on in that movie, so I was learning as I was watching. Whereas the entire time I was watching Vice, I was like, "When's he gonna shoot that guy?" But whatever. Adam McKay is leaving something to be desired for me right now. Although, I think he has a producer credit on that new movie Hustlers, which I saw yesterday and loved.
Oh, all right. Oh, is that the J-Lo thing?
I gotta say, this is the best thing she's been in since Out of Sight.
Wow. I was not going to be seeing that.
I think she should be nominated for an Oscar.
Holy shit. Best thing since Out of Sight. Well, there hasn't been, yeah.
This is this year's Widows, Henry. Just a pleasurable as fuck movie that I'm going to watch a bunch in my life.
Wow. Okay. Good to know.
I'm telling you. Right. Yeah, see that.
I believe you. All right. Number 17, a movie I never saw again, but saw in the theaters when I was in college, and I loved it when I was in college. I don't know if it holds up. I'm going by that memory that was strong, and that is by Lisa Cholodenko, whose new Netflix series I just started called Unbelievable, which is also excellent. And this is called Laurel Canyon.
I skipped Unbelievable, as I do all Lisa Cholodenko projects. Ever since The Kids Are All Right.
Right. I like that movie.
If I want to watch a sitcom, I'll just watch Will and Grace. I'm good.
I understand. I like The Kids Are All Right, but yeah.
Chola, so I skipped Olive Kitteridge, which people like. That I don't know. I'm not a fan of her general aesthetic, although I did like her first film, High Art.
Ali Sheedy, never saw it. Yeah.
Yeah, Ali Sheedy from Man's Best Friend. My number 17 is his work opposite Mel Gibson in Pocahontas.
Jesus, look at that. We haven't even mentioned. It's funny we haven't even mentioned Bale at all yet. A performance in these movies, perhaps because he's part of a lot of people in a lot of the things we've said so far.
And he tends to disappear into his roles.
Yeah, although that's more true with my list. Your list has had some strong Bale performances, just hasn't talked about them, but that's all right.
Bale has a lot of good performances in bad movies.
True, because he's always given it his all.
Except for Terminator Salvation.
Yeah. Number 16, a movie I saw once on TV. I thought it was hilarious and funny and great, and I don't know, I'd watch it again. And that is number 16, Reign of Fire.
Okay, my number 16, it's one of those like early 90s. It's like a period piece, but everyone in the cast is clearly fucking Gen X, bro. And that is the very fun Swing Kids.
Another one I felt like passing on, so I never saw it. Yeah.
I watched it with a a friend of listen. A friend of my sister's brought over a videotape, and I had a pretty big crush on her, and so I decided to hang around and watch the movie.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Good choice. Probably
Thanks,
not, but yeah.
I made it
Number
happen later in life. It's all right.
I missed that last part.
Nothing. Okay, number 15.
Number 15, the aforementioned movie that I think I own it now because I got it for $1 at some store somewhere. And one of the only performances in latter-day life of Johnny Depp's that I like because he's fucking normal in it, and that is Public Enemies.
Very good. Yeah, the Deppster. Well, yeah,
I'm not a fan, and I have never been. So I'm not changing my tune. You know that. I've never given a shit about him. But
I get it. I used to be a big Depp guy.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
I met him once. Are you a fan of Lily Rose Depp?
That's his daughter, right?
Yes, she's making a go of it. Oh yeah, she shows up and stuff. My number, what are we? 15 is I'm open to Greta Gerwig making a better version of this, but this one's not too bad. Little Women.
Another one I passed on. I missed a lot of Bale's 90s
his literary work.
Yeah, I missed a lot of his 90s pre-explosion Bale literary work. Yes. But I didn't miss number 14, which I know Dan hasn't seen, and this is a fucking great, gritty, awesome movie. I hate to say, but I don't have it up on my phone, but I think it's David Ayer. I might have to look that up, and it's actually superb, and that is Christian Bale in Harsh Times.
Oh.
that David Ayer?
I have no idea. That was a hard pass for me. I remember when that movie came out, and like the posters were like a tatted up Bale looking like a fucking cholo. And I was like, what am I watching?
That's about right. See, I don't remember.
Is he Latino in that movie?
No. He's like a corrupt, drug-addicted LAPD cop. There you go. Yeah, it is David Ayer, and written and directed by David Ayer.
And Bale has a producer credit on that movie.
Yeah, it's very good. I don't remember it. I rented it in 2006, 2007, and it's really good. So whatever. That's my number 14.
It's called Hard Times?
Harsh Times.
Harsh Times, Jesus.
I know.
Hang on, I'm looking this up. Because everyone else in that movie's Latino.
Well, Freddie Rodriguez is superb, too.
He's Jim Luther Davis. I'll allow it. All right, we've got number 14. Listen, he went the other way from his performance as Cheney. He lost a lot of weight. This is what he does. Oh, Bale's going to be dead by 70 because of what he's done to his body.
Absolutely.
For his art. And listen, he lost all that weight only to be on the franchise's number 14 Christian Bale movie, The Machinist.
I love that movie. That movie blew me away when I rented it soon after it came out. It's higher on my list. By the way, a lot of these directors he's worked with, I've kind of always been interested in following after they've done something.
Who directed The Machinist?
I don't remember.
Oh,
but of course,
great.
I think I've seen everything the guy did.
Really?
Because of that movie. Yeah, I tend to do that. Well, you do that same thing with people.
Yeah, I do, but I don't think I felt the need in that case.
I did. Brad Anderson.
Who's that guy?
He did...
Oh, Session 9. I saw that movie.
That's okay. The Call
Did you see Beirut with John Hamm?
No. Maybe this was not the best example of...
The Call with Halle Berry. Holy shit.
You know what? I picked the worst example of what I'm trying to say. But
Next Stop Wonderland. That's a charming piece of 90s indie fluff.
I'll tell you what, he has directed some television that has been great. Some Wire we got.
Oh yeah, we should definitely give this guy credit for the greatness of The Wire.
We got some Boardwalk Empire. We got The Killing. We got The Sinner. I liked all that stuff.
The Sinner? You watched that?
I did.
Was Beale able to express herself?
She was very able to express herself. And Bill Pullman. You want some prime Bill Pullman, buddy? You will dig that. I know you're a fan.
Are you able to see any life in Jessica Biel's eyes? Any signs of life up there?
If you look closely on certain angles of the camera, the way the strobe hits her, you can see a glint in the retina. Yeah.
We'll give Brad Anderson credit for that because I have no other evidence of Jessica Biel being a human woman who has thoughts.
Okay, well, the Brad Anderson comparison I take back wholeheartedly. The Machinist is a great movie. Not one of my examples of people I follow. Cholodenko, actually a better one. Anyway, all right.
Cholodenko.
What is it? It's Cholo. You just said Cholo too, right?
Yes, that's why I made that joke.
It's a Cholo.
All right, 13.
Number 13. I like this movie a lot. I don't think I'll revisit it, but I saw it in the theaters. In the Regal Times Square. I loved it at the time. I don't think I need to see it again. But anyway, Bale, first Oscar, The Fighter.
That's my number 13.
Well, look at that. Finally, Simulacrum.
Yeah, he's the best part of that movie by a good margin.
He is, yep.
You know who sucks in that movie and I think also won an Oscar?
Oh, don't say Melissa Leo.
Melissa Leo sucks in that movie. I love Melissa Leo, but holy shit, she is ingesting fucking scenery in that movie.
She's very over the top, but I didn't mind. Yeah.
She's more over the top than Lincoln Hawk, know what I'm saying?
That's a good one.
Thanks,
it took
bro.
me like 4 seconds to process, but I got it.
The listeners are losing their minds laughing right now over that classic joke. What's number 12?
Did you say you're 13?
Yeah, The Fighter.
Oh, right. Number 12, a movie I liked a lot more than my buds. As a student of this entire period, I found it still enlightening and very entertaining, and that is Vice.
Oh, yeah. Yep, saw it in theaters with Jason Anthony Harris. Neither one of us really cared for it. My number 12 is The Big Short.
Okay. All right, number 11. This was hard because we're really into movies I love and really amazing Christian Bale performances. And one of the greatest directors of all time, this appearance of this director is one of his best movies, and that is Terry Malick's The New World.
Funnily, I disagree that it's one of his best movies, but it's my number 11 Christian Bale film, The New World.
Look at that. Wow. All right. When I say one of his best, of course, I'm including that with his, 4 other masterpieces.
Henry, people are saying he's back, baby, with this new one.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, I'm excited, too.
I hope it's coming out soon. I didn't look.
It is. It's going to be out by, for Oscar consideration. A Hidden Life. It's been making the rounds at the festivals.
All right. Top 10, number 10 is The Machinist.
I have so many Nolan movies in my top 10. It's unbelievable. My number 10 is The Prestige.
Okay. I also noticed now that I'm looking through this how many of these I own. I own a lot of these movies.
Me too.
I
own all of my top 10 except for 2, actually.
Holy shit. I own all of my top 10 except for 1.
Wow. Okay. Number 9.
And of the 11, I own 10 of 11. Okay. Number 9, Batman Begins.
That's my number 9.
Wow, 3 similars. Okay. Number 8. This was the movie that I think awakened a lot of people to Christian Bale for real, and me as well. I saw it in theaters. I was pretty blown away.
American Psycho.
This is the one I do not own, but American Psycho.
I own that. Jesus.
Yeah, I know. I don't. It's the one I don't have of my top 11.
My number 8 is the aforementioned American Hustle.
Oh, okay. I thought you said American Hostels for a minute. I was like, is that a combo of the...
Holy shit. I would not watch that. What's number 7?
All right. Boy, American Hustle that high on your Christian Bale list.
I don't
Wow.
know. I really only love like my top 7.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Number 7 for me, great movie. I missed it in theaters for some reason, but I saw it on DVD, and it's great, and that is The Prestige.
Okay, my number 7 is a movie I saw in theaters, and Henry consistently forgets that I love, and let's see if he remembers it this time. 3:10 to Yuma.
Oh my God! Wait a minute. What? Yeah, I did consistently. And I will say again, very glad to see it. That's my number 6.
My number 6 is now we're getting to movies I fucking love. Todd Haynes' really underrated early effort, Velvet Goldmine. I guess
Never
it's not that early, but yeah, really good late 90s film about the glam scene in the 70s. It's great.
Yeah, I think that's why I passed, because the subject matter is antithetical to my musical taste. But
Yeah, but how about this to your musical taste? You know who wrote the songs for the fake bands in the movies? In the movie,
But
Radiohead.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they wrote like 5 original songs for that movie.
My word. Okay.
And Tom York sings them weird, and he sounds like a weird glam singer from the 70s.
Do that. Okay, I never knew that all these years. Wow. All right, that's a point of interest. And here we go, folks. Here we go.
Heavy hitters. These are the grand slams, the slap shots, the three-pointers, the touchdowns, the curling when the puck gets close to the circle. These are the heavy hitters of the franchise. Heavy hitters.
The cricket when you get it on one bounce and whack it with your bat. All right.
There you go.
Number 5.
And that'll be the only time you're going to hear that theme song, because we've got a long show ahead of us.
Yes, we do.
Number 5, The Dark Knight Rises.
Okay. My number 5 is the excellent Werner Herzog film, making a dramatic piece out of his earlier documentary, Little Dieter Needs to Fly, The Great Rescue Dawn.
What a masterpiece that is. Saw it in the Little Lincoln Theater Art Cinema.
I didn't see it till I never saw it in theaters, but I now own it on Blu-ray.
So do I. Great one. Number 4, best Christian Bale movie. Another one I own on Blu-ray, and that is Out of the Furnace.
4! Holy shit, and we haven't even hit Hostels yet. Good Lord. My number 4 is The Dark Knight Rises.
All right. My number 3 is Hostels.
All right, my number 3 is The Dark Knight.
All right. The number 2 best Christian Bale movie is Rescue Dawn.
My number 2 is his work in American Psycho.
A good choice. Look, man.
Bateman, Batman. Go ahead.
It wasn't the easiest thing to do, but it made sense for me. It clicked. The number 1 Christian Bale movie is The Dark Knight.
Okay, yeah, my number 1 is a little weird. It's my favorite movie he's ever been in, but he's not quite the standout performer in it because it has probably better performances by fellas like Heath Ledger and ladies like Cate Blanchett and perhaps even Richard Gere giving a good performance in this movie. And that is Todd Haynes' masterpiece, 5-star Bob Dylan biopic, I'm Not There.
Wow. I did not remember that was coming. That's number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, that definitely feels like something that is more of a preference of the movie than
100%.
Bale. Of course,
If I was really like, all right, it's the Bale list. What's my favorite Bale movie? I'm probably going American Psycho. But
which is what we were supposed to do. But yeah.
Fuck you. These are the top 29 Christian Bale movies, and the best one of these movies is I'm Not There.
That's fine. That's totally fine, man. I mean, look, mine's The Dark Knight, and in terms of performance, I probably would be Rescue Dawn, but The Dark Knight. He's fucking Batman. It's the best Batman movie. There we go.
That's another movie he's outshone by Heath Ledger.
Yeah, I mean, anyone would be, but I think he still holds his own.
No, of course he does.
Great. All right.
All right, let's talk about another movie where he's growling and lisping. Terminator Salvation, directed by Mac G.
What a tool. What a tool.
Come on, dude.
I know, man, right? Oh, just stop.
I mean, do we know much about McGee? Was he a music video guy? Is that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I knew him when he directed Charlie's Angels, and I saw it in theaters. I was like, is this the guy who directed the Smash Mouth video? And that's what I remember, and I was right.
When I see MCG, Henry, I want it to be MC Gainey. But it's McG. Yeah,
who I saw recently in the Daniel recommended Kurt Russell movie. That's
Breakdown. Did you watch it?
It's fucking awesome.
Yes.
It's fucking awesome.
How much does that movie rule?
It's so fucking good.
How
dude.
great is Kurt Russell in it?
Kurt Russell's amazing, man. Kurt Russell, JT Walsh, just doing his JT Walsh thing. It's great. Great wreck.
I love every part of that movie. It was a perfect movie.
It's a great movie.
All right, so Mick G's our new director. Jonathan Mostow was originally set up to, because remember, like T3 was kind of a hit, so they were gonna just keep it going with the T3 guy. He was set to direct in 2005, and it reached yet another situation where they didn't know what company had the rights, and they needed to auction off I mean, Terminator, because those original movies are made by, like, Carolco and shit, like,
you're right.
Nobody ever has the rights to this fucking franchise. So everyone just, like, takes a shot and fails because, frankly, the Terminator franchise sucks. So Mostow steps back to work on other shit. McG is our new director. I will say Mostow's people still wrote the movie. His college friends that we talked about last week, John Brancato and Michael Ferris, they have the sole writing credit on this movie. So, everyone hated T3. Why not bring back the writers of T3?
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah.
Mac G's here to direct. He got his start directing Korn music videos. To everyone out there, he directed such things as Clown and Blind and the straight-to-VHS documentary about them, Who Then Now, which I watched with my friend Josh in junior high school.
Oh, my God.
He's so many classic videos, this guy, frankly. Can we just go through his video work?
Yeah, because I remember them pretty well, some of them. Yeah, go ahead.
Here's a question, Henry. Do you practice Santeria? McGee does. He directed that video. All right. Walking on the Sun by Smash Mouth. I remember that video.
That's the main one that was I remember a lot. Playing in the summer of 1998.
How about this one? It's been
1 week since you... Ugh. God.
The only song where people know exactly what you're talking about with the words "it's been."
That's right. Disgusting.
Yeah, it's been.
Ugh.
Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken. Have a drumstick and your brain stops
please,
ticking. Watching
please.
X-Files with no lights on. The Delamazon. I hope the smoking man's in this one. Harrison Ford, I'm getting tantric. Frantic, like Sting, I'm tantric, and I am guaranteed to satisfy. Like Kurosawa, I'm in mad films. Say I don't make films, but if I did, they'd have a samurai.
That was wow.
How about those lyrics?
That was.
I remember them all. All right,
a terrible thing.
He also directed Everclear's One Hit Wonder, which was sort of like, they had that hit album, So Much for the Afterglow. They'd already had like 5 hit songs, and they were like, well, it's still a hit. We should put out another single. So that was that for them. He did Got the Life, the lead single from Korn's third album, Follow the Leader. He did Can't Get Enough of You Baby by Smash Mouth. He did All Star by Smash Mouth, okay?
Yeah.
Hey Now.
I remember. Hey Now. Yeah, that's a Mystery Men. They put that in that movie.
That's right. They put that in every movie. It's in one of the Shreks. Pretty Fly for a White Guy. He directed that video.
Yeah, The Offspring.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
How does that movie? How does that song start?
All
Gluten,
the girlies
gluten.
say you're pretty. Oh,
Is it, give it
I was
to
gonna
me,
say it.
baby. Aha,
Give it
aha.
to me.
Yeah. Henry, where were you going without ever knowing the way? He directed that video for Fastball.
Oh, I love that video and I
Sure.
love that song. Still, I love that song.
Henry, every morning there's a halo hanging from the corner of my girlfriend's four-post bed. Shut the door, baby. Don't say a word. Sugar Ray. What a career. All right, so then he makes the move to films. He does Charlie's Angels and Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. The great pilot episode of the Fox show Fastlane that only ran one season, starring Bill Bellamy and Peter Facinelli. The thing I remember about that show was when it was failing in the ratings, they made a huge deal promoting an episode where they tried to get new viewers because Tiffany Amber Thiessen was going to be making out with a girl in a hot tub.
Oh my God.
Yeah. After
Come on, McG. Come on, McG. Do you give a fuck?
Henry, I have an important question for you.
Yeah.
Are you Marshall?
Oh man. Did he do what did he do with that?
He directed We Are Marshall.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
That was the film he made between the Charlie's Angels and Terminator Salvation.
Well, I didn't see it.
He did the Chuck pilot. I love that. Followed up Salvation with the great This Means War, starring Tom Hardy. And followed that up with 3 Days to Kill, a Kevin Costner old man action movie.
Sure.
And since then, he's made a couple of these Netflix movies that show up.
Oh yeah, what?
The Babysitter is one.
Didn't watch.
And there's one called Rim of the World, which looks like 4 kids go camping and end up saving the world from an alien invasion.
Wow, what an auteur he really is. Although he's got a large resume. I'm not saying it's good. Wow.
He's
All
produced a lot of stuff. He's a producer on Supernatural. That's been on the air for like 20 years.
What's his real name?
Joseph McGinty Nickel, I want to say. That's off the top of my head. Let's see if I'm right. From Kalamazoo, Michigan. Joseph McGinty Nickel. That is his name.
All right, Joe Nickel. That's what I'm going to call you from now on. Joe Nickel. Nichols. Joey Nichols. Joey
Oh, right. He also was involved in that Revenge of the Nerds remake where they filmed it for like 3 weeks and then the studio was like, this isn't going well. We're just not going to finish it.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
T Salvation was released May 21st, 2009. The prior movies went with the 4th of July weekend, but I guess they were trying that Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when this was coming out. We were buds at the time. I don't remember really giving a shit, and I passed.
I remember thinking I should see it, and then like I did myself a favor and didn't.
Yeah, you avoided it. And 2009 was one of those years where the movies turned out to be pretty good in retrospect, but as they were coming out, I did a lot of catch up on that year, years later.
My list for that year, I redid it, and it's insane.
Yeah, I didn't redo it, but it's relative. It's pretty new. I did redo my 2015 list. So
you want to do it right now, just because we're talking about 2009, real quick? Because I redid this list, and I wrote down like 20 movies. So,
yeah, and I had a lot of honorable mentions, so I want to throw some of those in too. So who cares?
And can I just say, this is a year that I love, but none of these movies are like, like accepted masterpieces. Most of them are just like personal favorite movies of mine.
Right. I get it.
Okay, so my honorable mentions are a lot of movies that have previously been on the list, frankly. Big Fan, Antichrist, 2012, District 9, Where the Wild Things Are, Drag Me to Hell, Jennifer's Body, Crank 2 High Voltage, A Serious Man, and Moon and the White Ribbon.
Wow.
How about that?
I've seen almost every one you mentioned, and they are mostly all great. I agree with you. Mine are a little different honorable mentions, so I'm glad they're a little different. I have Sugar, The Girlfriend Experience,
Yeah,
Up,
that's good.
The Hurt Locker, Public Enemies, In the Loop, Funny People, District 9, Capitalism, A Love Story, Bronson, uh,
Bronson, yeah, that's great too.
yeah, and Education, Brothers, The Road, Where the Wild Things Are, and Adventureland. So,
That's all good stuff.
yeah, man. So, and that ain't even in my top 10, and they could be. Yeah.
All right, what's number 10?
Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince.
You know, we're almost an hour into this, and we haven't started talking about the movies.
I know. I gave up. I looked at the timer a while ago, and I was like, this is just going to be what is happening here this time.
Well, listen, it's not like you could talk about the plots, because Terminator Salvation, nothing happens, and Terminator Genisys is incomprehensible.
Completely incomprehensible to the point of frustration. So it doesn't even matter. I wasn't worried. So here we go. Number 10 for you.
The House of the Devil.
Is that what I just watched on your recommendation or not?
Did you watch that on my recommendation?
What did I watch with the girl in the house alone?
She's babysitting, and they might be cultists?
Tom Noonan?
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. I forgot. Okay, I love that movie. Just saw it. All right.
Great movie. Number 10.
Number 9, Paranormal Activity.
Oh, great. My number 9 is Lynn Shelton's Hump Day.
Right. You like that. I never saw it. Number 8 for me, A Slip in the Abyss. A Slip in the Abyss. It's been a long time. Slip in the Abyss. Slip in the Abyss. It's been a long time, dude. And that's my number 8, Slip in the Abyss.
Some people are going to love it. There's a certain contingent of our audience that enjoys when you do that.
I had to step the Abyss.
My number 8 is Kari Joji Fukunaga's early film Sin Nombre.
Oh, yeah. Never saw it. Number 7.
Saw it in theaters, aren't you? In an advanced screening. Are you impressed by how classy I am?
So impressed. Kari Jo Fukunaga of True Detective fame. Yes. Number 7, Moon.
My number 7 is the great French film with Isabelle Huppert, which I saw at a screening that year at MoMA.
Wow.
Home is the name of it.
Never even heard of it.
Yeah, check it out.
Number 6, Star Trek.
Okay, my number 6 is Funny People.
All right. My number 5 is, well done, A Serious Man.
My number 5 is the absolutely brilliant and hilarious Jody Hill film. And by the way, 2 Seth Rogans in a row. Observe and Report. And I just want to recommend the new Jody Hill television series, The Righteous Gemstones, which has been great so far.
All right, I have 2 things to say. 1, I loved Observe and Report. I didn't love it as much as you. 2, I'm not into The Righteous Gemstones, brother.
That's crazy.
I watched the first 2 episodes, and I'm just not.
Did you watch Vice Principals?
I loved Vice Principals.
I think this is every bit as good as Vice Principals.
Not even close to me. Yeah, not digging it.
All right.
It's funny. It's just not digging it. A little disappointing.
What more do you want from it? It's a comedy and it's funny.
You know what? It's probably the subject matter. It just feels very dated and easy.
Mega churches?
Yeah, it's kind of like not. I don't know. It's just not something that interests. I don't know.
I love it. All right, what's number 4?
The Swedish Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Okay, and mine is Greg Mottola's Great Adventureland.
Love it. My number 3 is here's a director I've checked out a couple of his films because of it. Woody Harrelson and Ben Foster in The Messenger.
Oh yeah, I never saw it. My number 3 is the great documentary. Is it Ondi Timoner? Is that the name of the guy that made this? It's We Live in Public.
I don't know because, as you know, I still have not seen that.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I'll look it up.
My number 2 movie of 2009 is a great movie that Dan and I both very much love. I own this movie. That is Two Lovers.
I want to say that it is Ondi Timoner, and I am finding out from the IMDb page for the first time that it's a woman.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
And she also made that movie Dig, which is on my list from a previous year. All right, I'm
Didn't
sorry.
see that.
I was preoccupied. What's your number
That's
two?
okay. I was just trying to save dead air time. Number two, Two Lovers.
That's my number two.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And the
That's a
best movie of
fucking
2000
masterpiece.
It really is.
Oh,
It really
shit.
is.
I'm so pumped. I'm going to see Ad Astra next week, man.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna definitely see that. That's on the theater going list. And the number one movie, despite everything we mentioned, is still Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah, so we have the same top two, but a very different other list. All right, so Terminator Salvation. Here, let's talk about it. Mac G decided early on that he wanted Bale, but he wanted to cast Christian Bale as Marcus, the lead in the movie. Christian Bale was into doing the movie, something that he later said he doesn't remember why, which I love.
Well, I read an article. That was in from 2018, saying that he. I mean, I don't know if this is him retconning his memory, but who doesn't do that? That he took the role basically because so many people at the time were telling him not to do it. It was going to be a bad move. And so he said that he just took it because he was getting so annoyed at people saying don't do it. He was like, fuck it, I'll just do it. Fine.
That's a very Christian Bale, I'm a rebel thing to say, but he probably got offered $15 million, and that's why he did it.
That was probably it.
And insisted he didn't want to be Marcus because John Connor actually has less screen time.
See, I thought he didn't want to be Marcus because he just would have preferred to. He would have thought John Connor had more screen time, and he would have been the focus.
I mean, that's a good point. I was going to say he probably read the script, but this was a notoriously weird, they were writing during filming.
Of course. Yeah.
John Brancato and Michael Ferris have full credit on as the writers of the movie, but a lot of people say they should not because after they were done with the movie, Paul Haggis came in and did a rewrite. Sean Ryan came in and did a rewrite, and apparently Jonathan Nolan was actually on set doing rewrites as they were going. Jonathan Nolan is the one I'm getting the sense people felt he got bilked out of a screen credit.
Yeah, from what I read, I got that feeling too, and I also feel like he probably was responsible for Bale not being maybe as enthusiastic on it as he would have been, because obviously they're buds from the Batman movies, and I think we could have probably had a better movie out there. Because I'm going to say this right now, since we're already well into the show, this movie is fine for me. Yeah,
I hated this.
Yeah, I figured you would, and it's exactly as I remembered it from watching it 9 years ago. I mean, it's dark, it's gritty, it's got boring parts to it for sure. It's relentless in its grim overstatedness, but it's just there's some decent stuff in it.
No, there aren't.
I think there is. It's not a good movie.
There's nothing good in this movie.
Anton Yelkin's good.
Not really. Baby
See, I
head.
disagree.
Fucking baby head.
So you got a baby head in each of these this week's entries.
I'm telling you, everyone in these Terminator movies either has a baby head or a huge head.
Or a bad accent. Yeah.
They all have bad accents.
Bale.
I mean, why are people doing accents in these movies?
I don't know.
This is a franchise where you've established that a robot can have an Austrian accent. Just let everyone use their accents. I mean, I guess, yeah, Bale's playing John Connor. He has to do an American accent. Why is Sam Worthington doing a fucking American accent in this?
I agree. I came up with a Terminator rationale, which I found myself doing more in this franchise than any other thing we've ever covered, period. End of statement. This rationale was, well, I guess all this is taking place in California.
Is it? I mean, I guess it is, yeah.
I don't know. That was my rationale. I had to explain it somehow in my brain, so I was like...
But why would that explain why Worthington has a bad American accent? Literally, I mean, before we're going to get into more stats, but the first scene of this movie is Sam Worthington and Helena Bonham Carter talking to each other, and I legit couldn't understand what was happening in either of these performances. I have no idea what happened in that scene because I spent the whole scene thinking about their accents.
I'll tell you a similar little anecdote. That opening scene you're talking about in the prison cell?
Yeah.
Yeah, rewatched it with subtitles because I didn't catch a word of it either.
I watched the whole movie with subtitles.
Yes, so did I. I ended up doing that too. But I had to go back because I was like, all right, wait a second. I can't get off to this bad a start with this movie where I literally did not know what was happening. So I rewatched it, put the subbies on, and then I was like, oh, got it. There's a lot of mumbling. Yeah.
Of course there are. Sam Worthington, he doesn't enunciate. He needs elocution lessons.
Yeah, he does. And
there are certain, there are wrestlers that the WWE tries out, and if they're not hitting on the main roster, but they feel that they can hit big at some point, they'll send them down to the minors, basically.
Okay.
I feel like Worthington needs to be sent back down to the minors. Work on it.
He's he's an avatar, man.
This is an amateur. This is a fucking nothing. I mean, this is a local, regional theater actor who has somehow found himself as a major movie star.
This is exactly how I feel about Jai Courtney.
I feel that way about him too, dude. But Worthington is an offender. He offends me.
Courtney offends me. I'm with you a little bit on Worthington, but I guess his presence is a little less annoying to me. So it doesn't quite. Plus, he's been in some stuff I like.
What?
I'm looking at him. I'm trying to figure that out. Hacksaw Ridge.
Oh, stop it.
Is that all I have?
Do you know how Worthington got the job in this movie?
How?
McGee went down to the set of Avatar to ask Cameron for his blessing because everyone has to anyone who directs a Terminator movie has to go kiss Cameron's ring.
You're right. You're so right. All right, I liked him in two movies, The Debt and The Keeping Room.
I've never heard of either of those. I've maybe heard of The Debt. Is there a redhead in that?
Yeah, it's just Chastain. The Keeping Room is an excellent movie with that girl I have a crush on, Britt Marling, that you still don't know anything in.
Yeah, right. All right, Salvation.
Chastain has acting ability. I disagree with you on that, but not in this movie. Yes.
He sucks. Terminator, it was originally called Terminator Salvation, The Future Begins, because they were trying to set up a trilogy of Terminator Salvation movies. Josh Brolin was courted to play Marcus, but he turned it down. Just some fun facts. This was released with a budget of $200 million. It made $371.4 million. So that, given the very astronomical budget, is not enough, basically.
No, and a few dollars, maybe $5 or $6, went to Guns N' Roses so they could revisit "You Could Be Mine."
That was in Genisys, wasn't it?
No.
Oh, you're right. That was in this. Yeah,
I like that.
That was an enjoyable choice.
It was, and you
only heard it for 2 seconds.
It's true. It was a weird choice for me in this movie when I saw this credit come up, and then I was like, never noticed it again, and I think there's a reason for that. Danny fucking Elfman did the music for this.
Yeah, I only noticed that after watching the movie.
Totally phoned in this one, baby. I didn't catch shit.
I mean, it is it's anonymous.
Yeah.
Danny Elfman is a guy who can't resist Elfmaning it up, man. You watch Spider-Man, and all of a sudden the music is dum 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 dum.
Yeah. I have a theory.
That was just the
Danny
Super Mario Brothers theme. All right, go.
It was the same thing. I have a theory about Elfman's involvement that I just came up with right now. Helena Bonham Carter only got into this because Tim Burton is a fan of the Terminator.
I read that. I never know how much to believe some of that shit.
But
Bonham Carter was supposed to have a bigger role in the movie, but apparently 4 members of her family got into a car crash together and died, and she had to go tend to that.
I remember that. You don't remember that?
No.
I remember that happening, yeah. And so I feel like Bonham Carter might have been like, I know this guy named Danny Elfman. My husband used him a lot in the 80s and 90s. He might be fun, a good bloke. But see, this isn't a Danny Elfman type movie. There's nothing in the movie that's quirky. Or why are you shaking your head at me?
Your Bonham Carter accent.
Oh yeah, I don't know where it was from. I'm not really sure. It's trying to be the King's English.
It's sort of half the wings of the dove, half like Cockney. I don't know what you're doing.
The Cockney was a bad choice. That was not. I realized that right away. But this is not a Danny Elfman type movie. There's nothing fun in this movie, and he needs to have fun things around him.
There's nothing fun, and this is a 2-hour summer action movie. This was like honestly the nadir of action movies for me. Like that space, like post Batman Begins, pre Marvel, when we just decided like the way to go with summer action blockbusters, let's make them deadly serious. Nobody can have any fun. We're making a real film that's gonna resonate, and like they're all just like boring pieces of shit.
That's pretty interesting, yeah. And I was pulling back out my 2009 list to see if I could prove you wrong, and I can't.
What were the big summer movies of 2009?
Star Trek.
Yeah, but it's J.J. Abrams. He has a point of view. Who else? Do you have the 2009 list, or like?
No, just mine, just my HMs and all that.
Okay.
And there's a couple things on there. They're all very self-serious things, so I can't really. Yeah, okay. I can't really fight you on that. You're starting to pull me down to a different rating on this movie. We haven't even discussed the movie at all, but I don't know.
2009. Listen to some of these fucking movies, man. Avatar, first of all. But the Guy Ritchie Sherlock Holmes, X-Men Origins Wolverine, the fucking Twilight movies, the Terminator, the Transformers are starting to come out. The G.I. Joe, Taken, Angels and Demons, brutal.
Wow. Okay.
Watchmen was this year.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're backing up your point with hard facts.
Hard facts.
Those are all. Yeah, totally. I agree. I mean, that is not subjective. Everything you just said backs up your claim. Yeah. But. To get back to the movie, I don't know.
All right, who do we have? And I want to say they came in at number 23 at the box office between Angels and Demons and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Okay, now we can talk about it. We talked about Bale and Worthington. The thing in this movie is Anton Yelchin, R.I.P.
Yeah, I like him.
I've always liked him. Yeah, I mean, it's sad that he's dead.
He's great in Thoroughbreds too.
Oh, that's right, Thoroughbreds. He's good in Green Room,
and he's great as Chekhov in Star Trek. So
Yeah, that was a sad one. He should still be alive. How'd he die?
I think it was a car crash.
Yeah, that sounds right. He got walkered. So he's Kyle Reese. He's playing Michael Biehn. I don't really remember Michael Biehn having a baby head, but apparently he does. He's not Nick Stahl. Nick Stahl is Connor. I mean, come on. You could buy Nick Stahl becoming Anton Yelchin. I do not buy Nick Stahl becoming Christian Bale and Michael Biehn becoming Anton Yelchin. That is crazy.
It's very crazy shit. I mean, I had a question for you after these two movies, despite the actors who play them being Anton Yelchin and Jai Courtney. Did you like or appreciate Michael Biehn anymore?
No.
Okay.
So this movie,
I did.
All we're doing is we're wandering the post-apocalyptic world, but we're not doing it fun and exciting like Mad Max. We're doing it like slow and sad, like reminded me of Book of Eli or The Road, that kind of a picture.
It is actually it does share a lot of the look of The Road a lot, but without a point. I felt like the movie though, I think it was also coming before watching Genisys. the movie's simple enough. It moves.
No, it doesn't. It is simple enough. It's too simple because it doesn't have a storyline.
I don't
The
care.
storyline is people
Well,
trying
it's
to survive, and then John Connor runs into Kyle Reese and knows who he is. That's the movie.
I didn't mind that after all this fucking time travel shit. I didn't mind that.
But you
I
need
know.
to convince me that, like, I mean, come on. It's like if they announced Freddy versus Jason and the whole movie was just Freddy versus Jason slowly talking to each other for 2 hours.
That would actually be amazing.
That's not bad, actually. I just mean, like, you're promising me, like, the post-apocalyptic, War of the Machines or whatever, and I guess you're delivering on it, but, in those early movies, where are the purple laser beams? It's not, where are the fields of skulls? This is just boring. It's just people trying to survive in the desert. Like, it sucks, man. We've seen so many better movies. I mean, like, Resident Evil Extinction makes this movie look like shit.
You're right. He's working on me, folks. He's working on me.
It sucks. Bale and Worthington are bland. Anton Yelchin is likable, fine. There's some people hanging around this movie for no reason whatsoever. I was never convinced for a single moment why Common needed to be in this.
I don't know why Common was in it. I don't know why Bryce Dallas Howard, who I mentioned last week and compared her to Claire Danes, and she ended up playing the same character.
Yeah, offered to Charlotte Gainsbourg, actually. She tapped out at the last minute. Bryce Dallas Howard's in this movie as the Claire Danes role. We talked in the last movie about Claire Danes being the only good part of the movie, so maybe we should elevate that role. A very important role, the wife of John Connor. So in this movie, we gave her nothing to do.
Nothing, and she's bad in the scene she's in, I gotta say, in my opinion.
I completely agree, and I think Common's pretty bad too, and I don't know. Do you think that being in Terminator Salvation is what made him come up with that great commercial he's in now? Artificial intelligence.
Oh, I don't know that one. I don't think. But
you gotta have fun. There's a little black girl named Star hanging around in this movie for no reason whatsoever.
That was stupid. That was so obviously like their nod to the Road Warrior with the fucking feral kid. It's like, we got to get a kid in here with a big fucking hairdo and just have him run around and not talk. Yeah.
Moon and the character and the actor Moon Bloodgood. Which is a great name for a character, but that's unfortunately the actress's name. She's playing a character named Blair Williams, which is
a generic name.
I think the second time we've come across this in a movie we've covered, Henry. A case of a studio not doing any Googling to find out that that's the name of a famous porn star.
I don't know, man. Every time I hear Blair, I just think of the fucking Facts of Life.
I think of Gossip Girl, but Blair Williams in particular is a very popular pornography actress.
Okay, well, then that was a bad on them. Yeah.
Oh, maybe she wasn't at the time, though. You don't know these.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Look. I don't feel like defending this fucking movie, but it just wasn't painful for me. Is that enough to give a recommendation? No, it's not enough to give a recommendation. It was not painful for me. It was shorter than I anticipated.
It's 2 hours and it feels it. If you're going to give me a movie without a plot, then get it done in 90.
Well, the thing is, too, and I was reading a couple of the tweets from our listeners, and I was glad to see one that did point out that apparently on T2, I did watch like a much longer cut than you. So like a 35-minute more.
Yes. Yes. I saw that, too.
So for me, I have really been wanting these things to be a little shorter, so I don't know. I guess I was looking at certain things from a different perspective. I mean, the direction is muddy and aimless, but I got to see Michael Ironside screaming into the screen.
FYI, how has Michael Ironside, how did it take him this long to get into a Terminator movie?
I had to retcon my own memory this time and go, was he in the first one?
He's perfect. Why wasn't he?
I don't know, man. And so I liked Christian Bale in it, even though I knew the whole history of this actually going into it. I did all this reading we're talking about before I watched the movie, which is not something I usually do. So he is semi phoning it in. But I liked Yelkin. I liked Bale. None of the females fare well at all.
It's not their fault. I've liked Helena Bonham Carter, Moon Bloodgood, and Bryce Dallas Howard and other things.
Yeah, but no, me too. But I didn't say it was. They just don't fare well in here. And Worthington, I thought, was going to be the one who bothered the living fuck out of me, and I don't know why he didn't.
By the way, Worthington turns out to be a robot. That's a big twist in this movie, and it didn't play for me because I assumed he was a robot the entire time.
Yeah, well, I didn't get that. Was a really silly plot device that did not work. I mean, you go into the movie in the opening sequence, he donates his body to science. You know that that's what they're going to do with him. So that was very odd. Like, is that supposed to be a surprise to him and us?
Yes, absolutely. No, that is like the big twist of this movie, Henry.
But it's not a twist. Who wouldn't figure that out? It's fucking Cyberdyne. We know who that. Yeah, I don't know.
Did you like the part where they ran into some post-apocalyptic rednecks and they all tried to rape everybody?
Great scene. Yeah, it was wonderful. Completely useless scene. I like the liquid.
You gotta have rapists. Listen, you know what you need in your fun summer action movie? Rapists.
It's been a while since you and I have had to do that. Just
no,
kidding.
It hasn't.
Like it's been that time. I know. I'm kidding. It's been like what, 2 episodes?
Yeah.
I like the Aqua. It's Aqua Terminators.
Oh my god! I know. I laughed so loud when someone was like, "Oh my god, it's Moto Terminators." I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
But they gave poor Anton Yelkin all those lines. He got like all those lines. Oh my god, it's Moto Terminators. Oh my god, it's Aqua Terminators. Oh my god, it's Aerial Terminators. They're not even like clever. They were literally like Batman calling it like the Batcopter.
And they all look the same. They just look like the fucking, the Transformer, the Michael Bay Transformers movie, where it's just like a bunch of metal like collapsing on itself. You
can't make anything out. You can't make anything out. You get an Arnold CGI cameo, which was mercifully short.
But why was it in the movie? You know, I read before watching the movie that Arnold turned down a cameo in this, and the reason he said he turned it down was to like just put Arnold in a Terminator movie for like a few seconds would be like a cheat to the audience. And I was like, when I first read that, I was like, oh, fuck you, Arnold. That's an excuse. Like, I'm sure people would love to see you for 2 seconds. But then they showed like Schwarzenegger for 2 seconds in this movie, and I was like, why do that? Why even bother?
Yeah.
It's not him. It does tease a more interesting character showing up that you actually like, and then he doesn't actually come into the movie.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, what are we doing?
Because that would have been cool, too, for all this movie's faults. It would have been a cool moment to see Christian Bale and Arnold Schwarzenegger like on screen together. That would have been something.
Sure. Every callback to the original movie suck. The moment where fucking Christian Bale's like I've got to go into town and pick up some groceries. I'll be back.
I know. There's some wincing. There's just not as much wincing as we're going to get to in Genisys.
I disagree. Like, to me,
really
listen, here's the thing. Here's the thing Genisys has. Purple laser beams. Genisys is acknowledging the silliness of the Terminator, which is the thing I like the most about the Terminator, which is why T2, the silliest of the Terminators, is my favorite.
Which is why the first is my favorite, because it's just more serious. It keeps those to a minimum for a tone that I already think is the way to go with these movies. So that's why this movie was preferable to me, and I didn't mind so much of that. In this franchise, because I don't want to say in general, because it's not true. In this franchise, you prefer the levity, the winking back. In this particular franchise, I don't think it works as well as it does in other things. I just don't think
that serious Terminator has been done well since the first one.
Well, that's a particular statement I can't disagree with. But if tone is what we're going for,
And even
I
the
mean,
first one's funny, man. You've got Lance Henriksen, you've got Linda Hamilton's silly roommates. Like, you need a
right?
little bit of that. And like, Terminator Salvation is just so fucking dead. Like, there
It is. It is.
no time for jokes.
Oh, it is.
No time for levity. This is a
I agree.
war. This
I
is a
agree.
war against the robots, and I'm supposed to take that very, very seriously.
No, you're right. And Christian Bale, I think, also contributes to that dourness because he's fresh off a Dark Knight and he's fucking talking like Batman. He's not helping.
And you've got
in
people in
that.
this movie who know how to, I mean, yeah, you got Worthington who's just like fucking dead air. But like, Anton Yelchin can deliver a joke.
Yeah, absolutely. He's funny in some of the movies we mentioned. And Bryce Dallas Howard is funny in her Black Mirror episode, which I know you haven't seen, but she can do that.
She should have popped on some heels for this baby.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm gonna stick with what I'm giving it though, but that's okay. So are that it for that one or what?
Well, how does it end?
So they joined forces, Bale and Worthington, to destroy the Terminator.
Oh, right. It's just running around in like
Yeah,
a
it's a
fucking
long
like a
scene, and-
factory and
And then Bale gets impaled in his heart, and so Worthington offers a heart transplant, which I was just wondering about the medical conditions of their little camp. I would think that giving him a heart transplant in that dusty fucking germ-filled tent would be very, very dangerous. But they pull it off, no issue. And he has Sam Worthington's robo heart, and he's all good. And that's the end of the movie, pretty much, right?
yeah. It's kind of what they did in Iron Man the year before.
No, but he doesn't get he
gets a robo heart.
Piece of something put in his heart, right?
But it's
Not
a robo
full-
heart.
Kind of a robo heart, yeah. It's robo heart.
All right, yeah. What do you give this movie?
You know what? It's with reluctance, but I'm not recommending
I
this
can't
movie.
believe you're giving this a 3.
I'm gonna give it a 3.
Yeah, this is a 1.
Yeah,
This is
wow.
a 1, and I'll say it right now.
You gave T3 a 1.
Yeah, and this is worse.
Wow. All right. Yeah, we're gonna have quite different rankings. Okay, go ahead.
It's worse. Terminator 3. Listen, it's got Schwarzenegger. It's horrible. It's a horrible movie. It's a 1, but it's like, which one of these am I gonna want to watch again in my lifetime? Neither of them. But if I had a choice, Rise of the Machines. It's at least like fucking. There's fight scenes and Claire Danes is there and there's cheesecake and fucking.
Nah, not for me. Not for me, man.
This is
I'll
just
watch-
boring. It was like interminable. Interminable.
Nice. For me. It's brief enough. We felt the length very differently. Bale's in it. I'll take this any day over the fucking T3 disaster. Any day.
No fucking thank you.
All right. My MVP's Anton Yelchin.
Oh God, yeah, I guess mine too.
LVP was tough. I want to go with Bryce Dallas Howard.
I changed my mind. My MVP is Michael Ironside, and
Oh.
my LVP. I mean, I don't know how you could give it to anyone but Sam Worthington.
All right. That's right. I was going to say, do not change your colors now. Yeah. All right. That's fair. All right. So that is Terminator Salvation. And here we go with a superhero count. Yeah. This one took me a while.
Bale's Batman.
Easy. You got it. Bale's Batman. And that's the only thing he's done superhero-wise. For some reason, I thought maybe I'd see him in something else, but no, of course not. That's it for him. Bryce Dallas Howard is Gwen Stacy in Spider-Man 3.
Wow, who could remember?
I didn't.
Nor did I.
Common, that's right, was one of Jared Leto's Joker's henchmen in Suicide Squad, playing a character named Monster T.
Monster T. Wow, that's what a coup for Common.
Do you remember that at all?
Nope.
Him being in that? All right. Michael Ironside played the captain of the 7th Fleet. I remember this in X-Men First Class.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was in like the control room.
Yeah. He was also in Smallville playing General Sam Lane. And
Lois's dad.
That's what I figured. I wasn't sure. And he plays Louis Snart in the show The Flash.
Yep. He's someone else's dad. It's DC, so we love to check in on dads. He's Snart. That's Captain Cold, I think. Captain Cold's dad.
I know that much. All right. And this guy included, just because he does a lot of the stunts as the main Terminator in the movie, and that is Brian Steele. And he made appearances in Hellboy 1 and 2 and in Blade Trinity as Drake Creature. Yes, I know. But sometimes I don't include those people, and people say, why didn't you include those guys? So here you go. Here's a stunt performer. I gave him some cred. Brian Steele, ladies and gentlemen.
Sadly not in Steel.
Or Real Steel.
Oh. Okay. Genisys comes another 6 years later. Trying again. The bidding rights to the Terminator are back up, and Megan Ellison, who I adore, bought the rights.
Why do you adore her?
I love her. She's this little rich girl. Her dad's David Ellison, who's a billionaire. And she started her own company, Annapurna Pictures.
Oh.
And her whole thing is she has really good taste in movies. And she just gives money to good filmmakers.
Really?
And lets them make movies. And a lot of times she loses money on these movies, but this is like her thing. She like
really
supports
cool.
filmmakers. Here,
so she's like an old school like patron.
It's
she's
not.
Like,
There's nothing old school about it. Like nobody fucking like does this.
Oh no. What I meant was she's like for Beethoven, he had like Count Esterhazy who said, hey, write this symphony and I'll pay you this to do it. I'll provide the orchestra. I'll provide it. You do like a really old school patron, like somebody who just depends on somebody for patronage. So that's pretty cool.
So if I may, a few of her credits, movies that she has provided money to, True Grit, Lawless, Killing Them Softly, yeah.
Own all 3 movies.
Yeah. She gave money to Paul Thomas Anderson for The Master, to Harmony Korine for Spring Breakers, to Catherine Bigelow for Zero Dark 30, to David O. Russell for American Hustle, to Wong Kar-wai for The Grandmaster, to Spike Jonze for Her. She produced Foxcatcher. She produced 20th Century Women. She gave money for Sausage Party. She provided the money for Richard Linklater's Everybody Wants Some, Todd Solondz's Wiener Dog, Phantom Thread.
Wow.
Alexander Payne's Downsizing, which didn't work out great, but I guess you give money to Alexander Payne.
Of course you do.
If Beale Street Could Talk, Ballad of Buster Scruggs, and Hustlers.
Honestly, it's a pretty good track record. The one that really stood out to me was the
Terminator Genisys.
No, yeah, right, of course. No, but the one I remember seeing, and I thought it was one of the worst movies of the year, and got all these Oscar nods. And I remember that movie being fucking rank, and that was Foxcatcher.
Yeah, sure, but like it's a good filmmaker. It's the kind of thing like I don't even think she really cares what they make. Like it's just she picks filmmakers she likes, and she's like, "You're trying to get your next movie made. Here's money." Yeah,
she liked Capote. That's why she gave that guy money.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, whatever. But that's an awesome thing. Good for her.
Yeah.
All right.
So she bought the rights and produced this movie. At one point, they had pitched package, which they like to do, where it was going to be the Fast and Furious boys, Justin Lin and Chris Morgan. That's what Universal pitched. But Ellison got the rights. Her director list, her wish list included Ryan Johnson, Denis Villeneuve, and Ang Lee.
Wow. Okay. All right.
And ended up going to Alan Taylor, who directed Thor: The Dark World, but is mostly known as a TV director. He did, the Mad Men, a lot of Mad Men, early Mad Men, and a lot of Game of Thrones, including I think the one in the first season where Sean Bean dies, which was like a big deal at the time.
Yeah, I mean, I remember looking at his videography last night, and I didn't think it was that bad, and I was one of the few people, even though on our Marvel rankings, Thor: The Dark World was very low on my list. I did not hate that movie. I mean, the guy can direct stuff. I mean,
he can direct television very well.
I was surprised. Now, did you hate Thor: The Dark World or no? You just
no, but I mean, it's not really a good movie.
No, it's not. And of the Thor movies, it's not even near.
His best film, frankly, was his debut. He got his start as one of these indie guys in the 90s. He made a film called Palookaville, which is sort of like a post-Tarantino crime movie with Vincent Gallo.
I'm seeing that here. I've never heard of it. But, I mean, his TV directing is pretty good, right?
Yep.
I mean, 6 Feet Under, Mad Men, Big Love, Boardwalk. Games.
Yeah, he won an Emmy for a great episode of The Sopranos.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so he's directing. We've got new writers, Leata Kalogridis and Patrick Lussier.
So a Frenchman and I
assume Greek woman.
Well, that's what I would say. She's American. She was born here. She's American, but that is a Greek name for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So she is known for, I have no idea. Superhero account. She created the Birds of Prey television series. She wrote Night Watch, which was a big deal at the time. She worked on Alexander with Oliver Stone. She was a writer on Shutter Island, and most recently created the Netflix series Altered Carbon and worked on Alita Battle Angel.
Nothing of which you named I'm interested in the least.
Patrick Lussier has had a very, very strange career. We've actually oddly covered him on the show. He got his start as an editor. He edited Scream, Halloween H2O, a bunch of stuff. I think he did even D3, The Mighty Ducks.
And he did Red Eye. And, yeah. Wow. Okay.
He's also gotten some work as a director for hire. Wes Craven liked him, so he got to direct Dracula 2000.
I see.
And he directed one movie I kind of liked, My Bloody Valentine 3D.
I see that, yeah.
But as a writer, he's probably best known for this and Drive Angry.
Okay. Oh, is that the Stallone thing?
That is not. It's a Nick Cage movie.
No, I'm thinking of the other.
You're thinking of
Stallone.
Driven.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you.
So what else we got here? It looks like Kyle Reese. They were working on casting that role for a while. Who ended up getting that role?
Oh, the great Jai Courtney.
Oh, right. That's Jai Courtney, of course.
Captain Boomerang.
Mm-hmm. But it was apparently, it was down to that guy, Jai Courtney. God, I keep forgetting his name. That's how boring he is. Garrett Hedlund, another pretty boring actor.
I like Garrett Hedlund. What are you talking about?
Boyd Holbrook, a very boring actor.
He's boring. Fine. Yes.
And interestingly, Tom Hardy.
I read that. That's fucking funny. That's really fucking funny to me. And
Sarah Connor, they ended up casting Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones, but it was between her. Listen to this. This was the final three for Sarah Connor. Emilia Clarke. Who would you choose? Emilia Clarke, Tatiana Maslany, and Brie Larson.
I don't know who Tatiana Maslany is, do I?
Emmy Award winner, I believe, for Orphan Black.
I didn't watch it.
Great actress. She's been.
What? No. I'm sorry. No, I meant. Well, I would have picked Brie Larson.
Right. I mean, it's just amazing that of those actors, they went with Amelia Clark. Tatiana Maslany, by the way, also was in Stronger, the David Gordon Green.
Oh, yeah.
That I love.
Faves.
This movie was released July 1st, 2015. They went with the July 4th weekend back again. A smaller budget than Salvation, $158 million. And a box office of $440.6 million, which is not what they hoped for, but frankly is enough money to get another one made. And that's why Dark Fate is coming out. But no one liked this movie, so Dark Fate is going to ignore this movie. This is another movie that was meant to start a new trilogy, and they just decided not to make the other ones.
And that's the thing. This is what also brought down Salvation, but really brought down this movie to the point of distraction during the entire viewing experience. I didn't know what the fuck was going on, not only with its own plot, but with its own continuity in relation to what I had already watched and to what where is it taking place? Is it taking place? What's it ignoring?
It's a divergent timeline. So remember in Back to the Future when Doc Brown draws that line on the chalkboard, and then he draws like that other line going in another direction. He says you created that line when you bought the sports almanac.
Right. Yes, sure. Yeah.
That's what's going on in this movie.
That'd be nice if I had that direction during the whole movie is explaining itself. 90% of the dialogue in this movie is explaining what's happening.
A lot of exposition.
All the way to the end.
And I didn't need any of it because I didn't get it. I didn't know what was happening.
Neither did I, and I kept saying, wait, is Jai Courtney not remembering the experiences that Anton Yelkin had? Is Jason Clarke not remembering what happened as Nick Stahl, or did that never exist, or is it? It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
I tried to just watch it as its own thing, and this is a god awful piece of shit. But I will say there was enough going on that it was at least like, I was entertained.
I was not.
Moment one of this movie, we're in the future. You've got a pretty good-looking young Arnold Schwarzenegger CGI. I thought they did a good job.
Well, a full confession. When I watched this for the first time, probably in 2016 on TV, and I turned it off, that was the moment I turned it off, when he arrives in 1984 and he confronts the punks, because I was just like, this is fucking visually unwatchable.
Okay, I wasn't up to the punks. That's getting into bad territory.
But what I have to say is it wasn't. The effects were not as bad as I remember it being.
I didn't think the effects were bad at all, but I appreciated this is a future of purple laser beams, Henry, and I was very thankful for that.
I would like to interrupt you really quick because I did take a long time to redo this. Can we please do the best films of that year? It's not a year we hit a lot.
All right. I'll say that Terminator Genisys came in at number 32 at the box office in 2015, which is pretty bad. Made slightly less money than Get Hard, the Kevin Hart Will Ferrell vehicle, and slightly more than Taken 3.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, I redid my list too. My honorable mentions are Force Awakens, The Great Unfriended, Ex Machina, Steve Jobs, which got knocked off the list, and 99 Homes.
I had a lot of honorable mentions, so I'm going to blow through some of them real quick. A lot of these got knocked off, all right? This is a great year, I think.
I agree. I love this year. And our lists are not going to line up because this is a year of great films that Henry has over the years refused to watch.
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. There's a couple on my honorable mentions I'm pretty sure you've never seen. All right. The Best of Enemies, a great documentary about Gore Vidal and William F. Buckley.
Wasn't there a movie this year called that?
There might have been like another thing. This is a documentary, though.
Yeah, but like there was like a thriller called The Best of Enemies.
Oh, but
am I making that up?
Not about that subject matter. So I was like, what?
This is the movie of Taraji P. Henson. Because Sam Rockwell's the head of the KKK.
Holy shit. I remember seeing previews for that fucking thing.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, Best of Enemies, Room, Steve Jobs, Where to Invade Next, Trumbo, Bridge of Spies, James White, Black Sea, Mississippi Grind, Brooklyn, 45 Years, Slow West, Still Alice, Creed.
Yeah, you didn't need to mention some of those, but sure.
I did. I love all of those, and a lot of them got knocked.
All right, what's number 10?
Eightful Eight.
10.
Almost didn't make my list.
That's crazy. My number 10 is The Overnight.
See, I don't know that.
Yeah, Jason Schwartzman and Adam Scott are in it. It's I believe like 78 minutes long, and it's great. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I haven't seen like 6 of mine, so fuck it. Ex Machina, number 9.
All right, my number 9 is Creed.
Got bumped for me. Number 8, The Lobster.
Ooh, I skipped that, but I think I'm okay with that not being on my list. My number 8 is It Follows.
Okay. My number 7 jumped way down on the list. That is Mad Max, Fury Road.
My number 7 is Dope.
All right. My number 6, a phenomenal movie. I love this movie. I want to watch it again. Macbeth.
My number 6 is The End of the Tour.
All right. Heavy hitters. My number 5. Sorry. Heavy hitters. My number 5. I don't think I could speak for an hour or two after this movie was over, and that is Son of Saul.
Okay, mine. I never saw that.
I thought you did see that.
Mm-mm.
Oof.
My number 5 is The Diary of a Teenage Girl.
All right. My number 4 is The End of the Tour.
My number 4 is Tangerine.
My number 3 is a movie I know you haven't seen, and now this is a director. I'm renting everything he has is on my queue now. A German filmmaker named Christian Petzold. He made a movie this year called Phoenix, and it's fucking brilliant.
Okay.
Phoenix, number 3.
Better than Dark Phoenix?
Much better than Dark Phoenix. Yes.
My number 3 is Room.
All right. Number 2, Sicario.
My number 2 is Anomalisa.
The number 1 movie of 2015. I almost changed it, but I didn't. And that is The Revenant.
Oh God, mine is The Hateful Eight.
Sicario?
What?
Sicario's nowhere to be found on anything?
Honorable mention.
Wow. I thought at one point that was even on your top 10.
I think
Maybe
it was too, but that's a 4, and
Yeah.
I think most of these movies are 5s on my list.
All right.
Henry,
Yeah.
before we get into Terminator Genisys, can I just say my favorite part of the advertising campaign for Terminator Genisys?
Sure.
Okay, so it's WrestleMania 2015.
Oh, God. All right.
This is unbelievable. All right,
Okay.
so something pops up on the screen. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger, okay, on like the Titantron at WrestleMania, and he's like, "Go see my new movie, Terminator Genisys. I'd like to introduce our next wrestler." So please welcome the King of Kings, Triple H. Now Triple H comes up. He rises from the rafters on a throne of skulls. Okay? And he's wearing like a king's crown, and like he's got a scepter, and he's got this whole like mechanism around him, like to make him look like a cyborg. Okay, it's like going over one eye. He's like, Triple H is the cyborg.
Oh my God.
And Motorhead, his chosen music starts playing, and he comes out on this like bed of skulls, and it is so weird, Henry, because it has nothing to do with Triple H. It has nothing to do with the match. Triple H is a retired wrestler at this point.
Okay.
And he's turned his entrance at WrestleMania into an advertisement for Terminator Genisys.
But it doesn't. I was just gonna say it doesn't seem to have anything to do with Terminator.
It does, because he's supposed to look like a cyborg.
Yeah, okay, that part. But he's on a throne of skulls. I was like, what the fuck
Throne
is
of
that?
Skulls, like the skulls that get crushed by the tanks.
Wow, that's a fucking stretch. All right, Triple H.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Arnold. Oh boy.
The best.
Run for another term.
Yeah. Loved Arnold in this movie. Actually, I thought he really flew right back into that role as Pops.
Yeah, I wish they would have called him something different. That
Me
got
too.
annoying.
Me too.
Yeah, that got annoying real quick. I think as a name, it's okay. I
What do you
guess
want to
for
call him?
Dad.
Termy.
T Dad.
Come on, Termy.
T Dad. T Pops.
So
Yeah,
Amelia Clark is Sarah Connor. They do have the same jawline, and she is in this movie traveling back in time. Kyle Reese is Jai Courtney. They're in an alternate present where we go through some of the same shit we did in the original Terminator, but with different actors playing the roles, and it's pretty confusing. And that's what the movie. It's one of these movies where we're just running around again.
I don't know how we would even begin to do the plot. It's Dan said it best. It's alternate timeline shit. John Connor becomes taken over by Skynet. They try to stop Skynet again, but Skynet is actually Genisys, a system that is what, fucking Apple or the internet in general. I mean, I don't even.
This is trying to have it all ways. It's a reboot and a sequel and a remake.
Yep.
All at once, and some of the shit just doesn't line up. Like, on the one hand, I support colorblind casting of making the T-1000 Asian, but if I'm trying to look at this movie as like continuity, it doesn't work.
No, it didn't. It didn't even. I didn't even think of it as being. I just thought of him as another model of the T-1000. But I thought it was.
I thought it was
very
supposed
cheap.
to be the same model because he becomes a police officer.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. See, I didn't think of that.
All right.
What bothered me was that when I saw that show up, I was like, is there anything, talk about a kitchen sink movie. I mean, is there anything we were not going to throw into this movie? You know what I mean?
No. You've got Jason
You don't know
Clark.
what I mean.
No, I know exactly what you mean. There's a lot going on in this movie. They're trying to appeal to someone, anyone. Jason Clark is John Connor. I like Jason Clark as an actor. I thought he was pretty good in this movie. He does make a heel turn halfway through, which I never really understood. But
Agreed on all.
But at least
like
there's
Clark.
a villain. This is something that occurred to me watching Genisys. Is one of the problems with Salvation, they're just fighting against robots.
It's true. There actually is not a singular villain. in that moving.
No, there's just Moto Terminators and Aqua Terminators and shit.
Right. But the thing is that to take John Connor now and have him overtaken by fucking, Skynet, and so this character that I've invested 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and a half, 11 hours of my viewing time in is now going to be a bad guy, but it's not really him. It's like a brainwashed version. Like, what the fuck are we doing? I doesn't work. Jason Clark, God bless him, does his best. He's good. And, by the way, the only foreigner in any of these movies who can do a fucking accent.
Bale's not bad, but well, yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, Jason Clark does a really good. Jason Clark was on a TV show called The Chicago Code, where he was playing a cop in Chicago. It only ran for one season, and he did a very specific regional Chicago accent in that show, and I feel like that's what he's been using ever since. Like, he got that Chicago accent down, and now anything he's in where he has to do an American accent, he's from Chicago, baby.
No, that's probably true. I was impressed by his turn in a terrible movie, but he did a fucking Ted Kennedy accent in Chappaquiddick. He was
That's
good at
right.
that.
I thought he was pretty good at that too.
He was. I mean, that's not easy to emulate. And so I like Jason Clarke. I've always liked him, and anything he's in is always. I mean, he's always interesting to
If
watch.
he's in a bland movie, though, he's bland. I
don't think that's true. You think?
I do sometimes.
I don't think so.
I felt that way in whichever Planet of the Apes movie he was in.
Oh, see, I thought he was really good in that, and I liked him in Mudbound. I think
that's a great movie, and he's great in it.
Yeah, I'm always interested in what he's doing. I dig him. First Man, I'm looking right now. He's always good.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever. So we're in the present. Arnold Schwarzenegger's playing a very avuncular version of the Terminator. Emilia Clarke has been with him since childhood in this timeline, right?
Yeah, I guess.
I think she met him when she was like John Connor's age in T2.
They say she's 9. They say in the movie she was 9.
Well, he's only supposed to be 10 in Terminator 2.
Right, exactly. She explains that there was some, and there's no shortage of flashbacks and dreamy visuals, but we get none for this fucking sequence. Her fucking parents are annihilated because some sort of Terminator comes back to a lake house to kill her, but then Arnold comes and saves her life. And because in this timeline, it's her life that needs to be saved at the age of 9, not at the age of, what was it, Linda Hamilton's supposed to be, 29?
Yeah, 29, right. I look, the thing about this movie is that it's at least fucking taking place on a recognizable version of Earth. And I don't know, the action sequences were kind of fun. The cast was not bad. Emilia Clarke is pretty bad, but I liked her more in this than I did in Solo, which we covered her in.
Yeah, I didn't think she was bad in this at all. Actually,
I thought she was pretty bad.
I was expecting some bad stuff, and I thought she was totally fine.
You know what the real problem with that performance is, and it's probably not entirely her fault, is they are really going hard on the love story between her and Jai Courtney.
Yes, they are.
You know, and this is something I had a problem with in the original Terminator, and I think the attempt is to like flesh out that love story in this movie, and I didn't like it any more than I did in the first one. And I liked it less, frankly, because Jai Courtney is just like fucking a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, and I never had a problem with it in the first one. I thought it was totally just get her done. And in this one, they really try. And just looking into his empty Mr. Potato Head face with those driveling eyes of Australian outback, that's not helping. It's not helping. Yeah.
No, he's terrible. He's the LVP in this movie. I mean,
yes, he is.
Do you want to talk about shit that happens? Like, what happens in this fucking movie?
I mean, I got to pull up the plot.
Oh, boy.
Well, you know what I did notice, another thing, was that, you know, not to harp on it, but it's part of the plot, was that it was, again, like showing us when this stuff was happening, and so many timelines have happened now with when Judgment Day occurs.
Oh, I gave up on that. Like, I felt like through three
like,
Terminator movies, I was basically able to understand what was going on. In this movie, it's constantly, hey, it's 2017 now that Judgment Day is supposed to happen, and now it's flashback 1999. But wait, now we're in 2029, and the apocalypse did happen. And
I mean. And I mean, honestly, there's not much besides all of the plot convolutions. It really is a completely solid. It's an action, not solid. Sorry, that was not the word I meant. It's just an action movie, because I'm even looking at the plot right now, and as I recall, all it is a chase. It's constantly chasing. You have a few moments, I think, of Arnold where he salvages some humor. I think he can be funny in it. I like the gray hair. I'm liking that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the running bit where he is trying to learn how to smile calmingly. I didn't need it a third time.
I
The first callback was good, but
Just gonna say.
then I was out on the third one.
just gonna say, yeah, that's what this movie does too much of everything. I get it, we get it. A little more subtlety would be nice. It's just a very, very overblown movie. I think for what Salvation did to you in terms of just being relentlessly grim and like hammering your head in, this is what this movie did with me, with the constant reminders of, remember that in that movie, remember that in this movie. It's just like, all right, let's just see some school bus falling off the Golden Gate Bridge because that scene was cool.
That scene was pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's some well done action sequences, but it's largely just a fight and then some attempted chemistry between Clark and.
That's a good way to describe it. It's a lot of fights and chases and some attempted chemistry.
Yeah. And I thought Emilia Clarke was fine. I thought Jason Clarke was fine. But I did not. I mean, what do we see? We see Jai Courtney being sent back in time. So we'll get into the plot a little bit. So he's sent back in time to do presumably what we think Michael Biehn is going to do in the first movie.
Correct, right.
So we have to watch again much less compelling repeats of the sequences that Michael Biehn was in.
But it diverges very quickly.
It does, but then it diverges into something lesser when we see T-1000, and now he's back, and Emilia Clarke shows up with Pops, and they are doing something completely different, and that's when the movie starts to explain itself, but it's just like I didn't want to watch the same sequences that are so classic in the first movie.
It's like a Terminator Roadshow, the greatest hits, done by lesser actors.
Quite literally an Antiques Roadshow. Yeah, and it's just, I mean, I don't know. They go to the end. Then did you stick around for the mid-credits?
Yes, I fucking did. I don't remember what happened, though.
Absolutely nothing except that the system is not fully down, and so.
Right, it's just setting up like Genisys. Genisys is the thing. It's sort of like the new iOS, like
that's what I wanted from
the cloud or whatever, and people love it. Like there's that horrible scene where Emilia Clarke's talking to a doctor, and she's like, "Oh yeah, it's the countdown to Genisys. It's launching in 2 days. I'm so fucking pumped, bro. My computer is going to be connected to my phone, which is going to be connected to my refrigerator, which is going to be connected to my pager, which is totally going to be connected to my Xbox. I can't fucking wait, bro. I'm going to be watching WrestleMania on that. I'm going to be rooting for Triple H. And
where at that point as a patient I'd be like, all right, but my
well, he literally is like bandaging her up while checking his phone, and he's not even checking his phone for anything good. He's just checking like, oh, still 2 days till that thing launches. Sweet.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, did that hurt? Sorry.
Yeah. Genisys. So the thing is, like, people love Genisys. They're excited about it, and they need to stop it. But at the end of the movie, it turns out like there's going to be just like a different version of Genisys. It's fine.
Yeah, and it's preachy.
We check in with Dyson, who's played by Courtney B. Vance, which is great casting. Courtney B. Vance for Joe Morton, but he has almost nothing to do in the movie.
Exactly. Before I watched the movie, I had done my superhero count, so I'm going through every cast member, and I'm like, oh, great. Courtney B. Vance is playing Dyson. That'll be something to latch on to. One scene.
No.
And he's like walking down a hallway.
There ain't room for two Courtneys in this movie, baby. We need Jai.
There ain't room for two Courtneys in this court, Johnny Cochran.
Ooh. And also, J.K. Simmons is hanging around this movie. And I found that very interesting because he's playing sort of like a guy who's like, he's a cop, but he's been like on the trail of the Terminator story for like 20 years.
Yeah, for 33 years.
It's one of those things, you know, on like the X-Files when like Mulder shows up at a crime scene and then they always show like another FBI guy like, oh, here we go, spooky Mulder, he's gonna fucking talk about aliens. It's the same thing in this movie. Like J.K. Simmons shows up, and that dude from Mad Men. What's the character's name from Mad Men?
I don't remember. Like Tinsey,
Kinsey, Paul Kinsey, and
Okay.
he's a cop, and J.K. Simmons shows up, and he's like, "Here we go, Captain Robot over here. He's gonna talk about all the robots."
Have you been drinking?
Right, and he's an alcoholic too. But I found that's like such weird casting because J.K. Simmons is such a good like fucking like tough. You want him as like J. Jonah Jameson or fucking the guy from Whiplash. In this movie, you've got like J.K. Simmons as like this milk toast fucking scaredy cat. I mean, J.K. Simmons is great as always, but it's a very odd bit of casting.
And he was great, and but even that scene even points to the weak parts of the movie as well that I noticed that just were blips on the sonar. But when they after they accost him and are like, "Just get out of here, drunk face," get in, and they get in the elevator. Kinsey and his partner, the woman, can't tell.
That's this movie. Other than Sarah Connor, every other female character is just that woman.
The woman, the black woman who gets in the
elevator. This is a movie. This is a female-led franchise, and it's now been 3 movies where we're just like, okay, in this one, our female lead, she's gonna grow some tits, and then in Salvation, there's just no women. They're sidelined. Fuck women. And in this movie, you got Sarah Connor back, but like she's just surrounded by like boring ass fucking dudes.
You're right. This franchise got completely sabotaged and taken over by men. And my point was going to be just a smaller one, but you made a bigger one. But when they get in the elevator, I noticed like his treatment of J.K. Simmons, Kinsey's treatment. I'm looking to the female cop to be like, oh, I wonder if she's going to emerge as like a sympathetic ear, or she agrees with him, and she just gives.
No, she's not going to have a character trait.
She gives him a look that you can't even decipher. Does the look mean, oh yeah, you're right, let's get him out of here? Oh yeah, you're wrong, let's be nice. It doesn't matter. It makes no difference.
That actress is Sandrine Holt, by the way.
Correct. That's right. She shows up on my count.
Does she? Okay, I'm excited about that. Let's get to your count. What do you give this movie? I'm gonna give this one a 2.
Okay. Yeah.
Why not?
This sucked. I didn't have. It was exhausting. This for me was an exhausting movie, and it just seemed to go on and kept going and going and going, and it wouldn't end. And so this was like that for me. My MVP. Actually is J.K. Simmons because he's entertaining when he's on screen. I just wanted him to be on screen.
That's fair, dude. Simmons is good. Part of me wants to just go Schwartz. But,
I almost did.
I don't know. Jason Clarke's all right. God, this...
I couldn't give it to Jason Clarke because it's just a bad movie, and I don't think he pulls it to, he does what he can, but...
I'll go J.K. Simmons, though.
That's fine. My LVP was easier than
Jai Courtney. Okay, what's your superhero count?
Superhero count, we'll skip the music because we got Terminator rankings to do.
Oh, God. Let's wrap up this show.
Yep. Superhero count, I got Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang in Suicide Squad. I got J.K. Simmons, of course, as J. Jonah Jameson in the 3 Spider-Mans, and apparently he's in Spider-Man Far From Home as a cameo, but I didn't see it.
It's great. It's I guess I can spoil it now. It credits. Oh, you don't want to know?
Oh.
All right. Well, it's fucked up because like that was like a huge thing. They're just gonna like have J.K. Simmons play J. Jonah Jameson in the Marvel Universe. And it's great, but now like Marvel lost the rights again to Spider-Man, so
he pops up in the post-credits.
It's like a mid-credits sequence where like Spider-Man's identity is revealed to the public by J. Jonah Jameson.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right. He also played Jim Gordon, who would have been a great Jim Gordon in any other fucking production, but he had the unfortunate deal to be in Justice League.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, that's good casting, but Jesus.
Great casting. What a waste. And then he's in many Marvel's Avengers cartoons playing J. Jonah Jameson. And then also, just real quick, he was in Animated Justice League Unlimited playing Mantis, playing General Wade Eiling. In Batman Brave and the Bold, he played Ace Morgan and Evil Star. So he makes his way around the animated universe.
Who's next?
Courtney B. Vance played Roderick Kingsley in an animated Spectacular Spider-Man.
That is some villain. It's like the Scorpion, or I don't know. I'm gonna look it up actually. Go ahead.
Sandrine Holt, who played Detective Chung.
Yeah.
Was in the 2009 miniseries The Phantom, playing Guran. I don't even know there was a miniseries. Phantom.
Nor did I, sir. Roderick Kingsley, by the way, is the Hobgoblin.
Oh wow! So pretty big. Okay. And she also played in a show that I brought up now because you educated me on it, and she played Patricia in that show Mutant X.
That's right, yeah.
She's in that. And last but not least, the T-1000 in this one, the cop T-1000 in this one, Lee Byung-hun, played Han Cho-bai in Red 2.
Oh, okay. Who knew? All right, that's Genisys. All right, Terminator rankings.
The worst Terminator movie for me, number 5, is Terminator Genisys.
Okay, the worst for me is Salvation.
All right. Number 4 is Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines.
That's also my number 4.
Okay. Number 3, Terminator Salvation.
I can't believe it, but Genisys for me.
All right. And number 2 for me is T2.
Okay. And for me, it's the Terminator.
And the best Terminator movie for me will be The Terminator.
Right. And for me, it's T2.